Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Juju's Journey. It's that time again, weekly cash envelope stuffing. Budgeting like this has helped me stay consistent, mindful, and in control of my spending. And today I'm walking you through exactly how I'm setting up my week. And before we get started, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And please comment your favorite budgeting category so I know you're here. I just want to let you know that I use a zero-based budget, meaning every single dollar has an assignment before I spend it. So whatever's left over after bills gets divided into my cash envelopes, so nothing goes unaccounted for. Okay, so if you've watched anything on my channel before, you know that I am a widow. Today actually marks 1 year and 1 month on the 11th. So it's January 11th. And so I started this cash envelope zero-based budget at the beginning of last January after I lost my husband. And I only get one paycheck or I have one income coming in at the beginning of each month. Me, personally, I like to stuff my envelopes once a week. It helps me stay focused. It makes me stay motivated. It makes me aware of my money situation. So I take everything and put it into this one binder. In this binder, I call it my bank binder. So at the beginning of every month, I take my $3,000. That's all I get. And I go ahead and separate it into all of my categories. Even my bills that I have. I wonder what this one's for. Giving. I must not have made another dashboard for that. But anyway, so what I'm going to start out doing is going through what has come out of my checking account. Last year was able to get 1 month ahead, so I keep $3,000 in my checking account every month. And I also, so therefore I can pull my whole $3,000 and put in this binder. I do not recommend that, pulling all that money out if you have drafts, unless you have enough money in your checking account to cover your drafts, which I do. So I'm going to look for insurance first. Because that came out. I know it's not there. Here we go, insurance. So I'm going to pull my insurance money. This came out of my checking account. It was drafted $255. So I'm going to put it in my bank bag. And I may actually need to deposit it into my bank. I don't know yet, but we'll see. My electricity, it was paid out of my draft, so I'm going to pull my electricity bill, which was $232.03. So I just ate the 3 cents. So that's 100, 200, 20, 30, 31, 32, and 33. Well, I didn't eat. I'm actually over. I pulled $233. So I'm going to put that in my bank bag. Internet, which I think I saw over here. Maybe I didn't. Internet is pulled, and let's see what I paid for that, $85. So there's 50, 60, 70, 85. That came out of my draft this week. My service payment plan came out this week. Let me find it. There we go, car service payment plan. And that is $100.16. So I budgeted $101. So I'm going to put that in my bank bag. And now we have Scrubbies that came out. That's $34.99. So I have $35 that I need to pay my bank. And subscriptions, $97. And I should have a budgeted $100. So I'm going to pull this and put it in my bank bag. And if need be, I can take this and deposit it into my checking account. But like I said, 1 month ahead, so I'm going to hold on to this cash stick it in my safe, and whenever next month when I get paid the $3,000, I'll take what's in this bank bag, deduct it from that $3,000. When I set up my budget and decide which denominations I need, I'll go through and see if I have any here that I can use, and if not, I'll make those adjustments and then do what I need to do at the bank. But anyway, that's enough of this for right now. So now let's look. I told you that I keep a ledger. This is my 2026 ledger, so I can have a good running total. At the end of the year, I can just look and see, well, in January, my electric bill was $232, and I may go down to July, and it might be $400. I can just look on one piece of paper, see everything. I do every month, I do ledger sheets for each month. So I've got all of my categories here: Juju, groceries, dining out, everything that I spend, I put on my ledger sheet. So I can just look and see, oh my goodness, you're spending so much money here, you might want to watch it. It just helps me. I'm a pen and paper girl, but most of you can do this on the computer. But I like writing, and I like writing it down. But anyway, that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and get started on my cash wallet, okay? So this is my cash wallet that I take with me this is my wallet that I keep in my pocketbook, okay? And I set myself up on a budget for the things that I do throughout the week. I saved my receipts. I've already scanned these into Fetch Rewards. I will put that in my description. If you're not familiar with Fetch Rewards, you need to actually look into it, because I'm so close to having 50,000 points, which will give me maybe 51, 52. There's so many gift cards that you can choose from, but I'm almost eligible to get a $50 Amazon card. I think that's what I'm going to use mine for. You can trade these points in for Visa cards. You can say trade them in for other type of gift cards, belt cards. There's a whole array of things you can use. And all you do is download the app Fetch. And if you use the link in my description, you'll get a certain amount of points for using it, and so will I. So that's kind of cool. But basically, you scan your receipt, and it gives you points. Real easy. It's worth taking a look into. And so these are all my receipts. I have scanned them in. So I am done with those for the week. Also, during the week, I take, say for example, if Juju, that's me, goes and spends money, and I get cash, I only use cash during the week. So if I get $2 back, I don't put the $2 back in Juju. I will take my ones, any type of change that I get with a $1 bill, I take it and put it in the back of my wallet. And then at the end of the week, all of my ones, I save. Now, if you need a one because you're out of cash, of course you're going to use your one. But the whole goal of this whole method is trying to save money, right? So you will be surprised on how your ones can add up. So I'm going to take the ones that I did not spend this week and place those to the side for a savings challenge. Juju, I spent all of my money this week. I give myself $50. Groceries, I spent all of that money. I spent dining out. Lunch, I do have 20, but that's for my daughter who owed for last week. She'll have to give me another 20 for this week. Miscellaneous, I have $5, so I'm going to pull it because it's going to also be saved to use towards something else later. So I'm going to pull that $5. And then giving, I did not spend it, but I am not going to pull it because I want this to accumulate. So therefore, if I see somebody that needs an extra help with something, I may have, I want to build this up. But I haven't gone anywhere this week to even see anybody in a circumstance that I would feel compelled to help. I've tried to keep a low profile because I'm trying to save as much money as I can and stay on my budget. So anyway, let's quit talking and start stuffing. So this is my bank binder, and I've already set it up with all the money and the right denominations to get me through this month, okay? So Juju gets $50 a week. So I'm going to pull two 20s and a 50. And stick it right there. Groceries, I give myself $50 a week. I'm very fortunate. You know about my groceries. I eat all of my meals next door pretty much. I try to buy a few gifts. I mean, a few, like some items to help contribute to their grocery bill. But it doesn't cost my daughter and her husband that much more money to feed me every night. And they're cooking anyway, so why should we both cook? And we live right next door to each other. Dining out, I give myself $30 each week. So that's $120 and $110. I wasn't really going to use dining out this week, but my daughter and I ended up going to Columbia yesterday to pick up her wedding dress, and I bought us breakfast. And then on the way home, I ran through and picked up something fast food for lunch. So lunch money is, I eat lunch next door with my daughter. She's a stay-at-home mom. And my other daughter comes over every day for lunch. So we each, all three of us, each put $20 into our lunch fund. And I'll go to the grocery store later today, or either early in the morning. I'll plan out all of our lunches. And then whatever we accumulate that we don't spend, if we have enough money, we'll go and get a special takeout order when we get enough money in this envelope. But I put my 20 in. Now both of my daughters need to put $20 in. So my money's in there. So I just have to collect from them. And miscellaneous, I give $10 extra. I mean, $10 a week. And this basically is me, like this week I got my hair cut, right? That's not normal. The next time I get my hair cut will be in April. I had a little trim. So if I didn't have enough money in Juju, which I did not, I pulled what I had. And then I pulled also the miscellaneous money, and that paid for my haircut. But if I'd gone to the grocery store and I spent a little bit more money than $50 this week, I can also pull from miscellaneous. It just can go kind of anywhere you want. You never want miscellaneous so much money because you're really trying to stay on a budget, and you really don't want to have to use miscellaneous. You know, that's not something you really want to use, but it's there just to make sure you're okay so you don't swipe that debit card. You understand? In giving, like I said before, I'm going to stuff $5 into giving, and this will be if someone's short at the grocery store and they need extra cash, or if I see somebody on the side of the road that I think needs a good meal, or if it accumulates and somebody needs help paying an electric bill and I have $20, I can help contribute to that, or buying groceries or whatnot, then I have it to give. And then this, I just have to stop myself. I made these dashboards on my computer, and so I just put gift cards there. This is basically holding my insurance cards and things like that. But my goal is to get gift cards because I would much rather pass those out to people that look like they might need a meal. I bought some over Christmas at the Dollar General or General Dollar, and I got a 3-pack, and they were each $10 gift cards to Burger King. So I said, well, that's a good idea. If I have food gift cards in my wallet and I see someone saying that they're hungry or whatnot, then I can give them a gift card, you know? Or if I feel like just giving somebody working their honey off and I just want to make their day, I can give them a gift card. So I'm going to look and see if I can find different gift cards that are in lower value, like $10 instead of like a $20 or $30 gift card, just to stack up here in my in this wallet. So that's a goal of mine, just to let you know. So now that we have our wallet taken care of, I can put it to the side. It is loaded for the whole week. And next, where are we going to start? Okay, so now we can get to stuffing our envelopes, okay? I haven't had to put gas in my car yet this month. Okay, so now we're into, I have 1s, 5s, 10s, and 20s, and 50s, and 100s. And all of these are meant to stuff my binders on a weekly basis. So let's get started with the high priorities, okay? So I probably need to look for something behind me real quick. Excuse me. So at the beginning of the month, I planned out everything that I'm, how I'm stuffing. So on this side is this is what I'm stuffing on a weekly basis. And this is how much I'm stuffing for the whole entire month. Okay, so let's go to where we are right now. We are now in house taxes. So we're going to do $25 for house taxes. Let me move that out of my way. So $25. I hope you can see. So we have a 20. And I'm going to need 1 5. Let's put this under. And I already updated my trackers. And I do highly, highly, highly recommend that y'all use trackers. Because if not, you can get confused real easy. So 111, I should have $50. 20, 40, 45, and 50. And this is going to go for my house taxes for 2027. No, this will go 2026. They're doing December. House insurance gets $50. And this is due, this will be for 2027. Last year I already saved up for my house insurance for 2026. So house insurance is going to get a 50. So I should have two 50s in here. I do. So now I've got $100. Car taxes, that's going to be, again, for 2027 because I've already saved up for 2026 car taxes. And that's going to get a 20. So I should have $40 in this envelope. Yep. I'm not going to pull everything out and count it. Car insurance is going to get 40. And like I said, that's going to be for 2027 car insurance because I've already saved up for 2026. And that's a wonderful feeling knowing that just because I use this cash zero-based budget, gave all of my money a job to do right time it hit the bank, I am completely ready this year. Last year at this time, I was so panicking, worried about how I was going to pay my house insurance, my car taxes, all of those things, because I lost when my husband passed away, we were not expecting it. $25 for tax prep. That's going to be $10 in there. I was not prepared at all. We didn't have a huge emergency fund, but I mean, I had to pay for a funeral. I'm fortunate enough that I get retirement, but when his Social Security was cut, my income, what we lived off of, went in half, but I still had all the same bills, right? Although some of them did go down, but some of them didn't. Your phone bill, your internet bill, your electric bill goes down a little bit, but not much. So you know, the only way I know that I was able to survive is by doing this method. And so I'm coming into 2026 not nearly as stressed out as I was last year, which makes me excited. Okay, I do have a category for Amazon Prime, and I don't think we're stuffing it yet. Because I paid Amazon Prime for the whole year, and I think it saved like $40 to pay it instead of paying it monthly. So I definitely will be doing that again this year. And for some reason, I think I did that in like June or July. The only thing I know that's probably going to come out are for my Blink cameras. But I do have enough money in my checking account if that happens. Okay, house maintenance is going to get $5. Of course, my house needs a lot more work than $5, but I'm just going to go slow and steady. Right now, I'm going to use this house maintenance for things like house paint, you know. I'm not going to use it for, you know, repairing my deck or anything like that. That'll have to come with just my savings. Car maintenance is going to get $5. And that should give me $10 for this month. My car should be fine. It's new. I got it last year around, I think in February. Emergency's fine, but if not, I saved up all last year, $5 a week. I'm going to put $5 a week in this year. So when tires hit, I've already got the money for it. It's sitting in my high yield savings account, earning over 3% interest. It could be like 3.5% interest. I'll have to look and confirm that with you guys. But it's just sitting there waiting. I'm not going to spend it. And, but if I need tires, it's there waiting on me. I don't have to stress out and worry about where the money's going to come from, because in the strategy that we use, zero-based budget, every dollar has a job. And so this is protecting me in my future. Like, my future self is definitely going to thank me for doing this. You know, if something were to come up, if I have to get my car towed or anything weird that money comes out of my pocket, I can say, you know what? I've got money for that. I've already saved for that. So emergency is going to get $5. I do have, like I said, I am 1 month ahead. Emergency like this, I have put money back into my high yield savings account. I'm starting over for 2026. That money is just a little extra cushion in case I have an emergency. I'm not counting this as my 1 month ahead. I want to be 3 to 9 months ahead with an emergency fund. But right now I'm just putting a little bit more away for emergency so I can reach my goals a little bit faster. But if something were to come up, I would pull from this first before I pull from my 3 to 6 months. Right now I'm only 1 month ahead, so I definitely don't want to pull from it. But like, say for example, if I save up enough money and my hot water heater goes out, then I'll have money already there for that emergency. You get it? But I could totally do away with this category if I didn't have a extra $5 bills to put there. Or either I could do away with my 1 month ahead category. Either one. They're kind of the same, but they're not. Okay, medical. I'm doing the same for it. I'm only putting $5 in. Thank God I haven't needed it, but I did this every week last year, $5 a week. And so if something were to come up and I have to pay a higher deductible or buy medicine that my insurance isn't quite covering, then I'll have money saved up for that event. I don't currently take medication on a daily basis, knock on wood, but I have been sick in the past that put my honey in the hospital for over 3 months, and I had 3 major surgeries in 3 days and lost 9 inches of my colon and ended up with a colostomy bag. Then had to turn around in 9 months and go have major surgery again to reverse everything. So you never know. You never know. And I was in ICU critical care unit for like 2.5 weeks. It was horrible. So you just don't know. And I'll always have health insurance in good coverage on that. I don't want skimpy coverage. And I'll always try to, make sure that's taken care of. But anyway, for savings, $5 again, same difference. I'm trying to make sure I'm covered. So we've got emergency, medical, savings. I know it sounds monotonous. They're all basically the same thing, but it just gives your money a job to do. So savings will go later towards my 1 month ahead. Once it reaches a certain amount, I'll switch it over to help me get ahead. And now here we go again. We got 1 month ahead. I know it. I'll repeat myself. But when you're as scared as I am, this is the first time I've lived alone in my whole entire life. I was only 22 years of age when I met my husband. He, whenever I went to college, I had roommates. Whenever I got out of college, I had a roommate. And then I went straight from being a roommate there to living with my husband. So I have never, ever lived on my own and really not had anybody to help me take care of myself or help with the bills, or completely. My husband took care of all the bills. My income wasn't part of that. Although I managed our money, but still. This is the first time I've done it for 1 year and 1 month today. So all of this is new to me. So I'm trying to make sure I personally am going to be okay. I know that sounds crazy because it seems monotonous, but now we're going to get to the normal stuff, okay? Personal care. Let me see what we did for personal care. $5. Just a little bit in each category will add up. And if you save for personal care, which will be things like your razors and your deodorant, things of that nature, if you need more, so be it. If you need less, put it in another category. This just helps you not go buy that $30 retina cream. You might want to save up, with your own personal money or your wish list. Because I know many times I've gone in that department to just pick up shampoo and conditioner, and I come out with $150 worth of stuff that I had not planned on buying. So this type of savings makes you conscious about your spending, and you kind of plan to buy things. And it just really works. You end up being able to save for your future because you're thinking about every dime you spend. It all has a purpose, okay? Let me see if I did pets this month. $5? Yep. Or this week. All right. So we've got pets. Should have $10. I've updated my trackers. So now we've got... And the pets is for their, not their dog food, things of that nature. Pets is primarily just for vet bills for the for 2027. I saved for 2026, so I'm good on that. And I'm actually putting a little bit less in this year at the beginning until I get my bearings straight. Because, it's all new. Again, a new strategy. I might have to change some things coming up. You never know. Clothes gets, let's see, $5. I do not buy clothes a lot. I don't work outside of the home. So I don't have a high requirement for clothes. I can just wear comfy clothes. When you're 57 years old and you wear a basic outfit, it's not really out of style or in style. It's just, t-shirts, leggings, maybe an Oxford shirt. None of that stuff really goes out of style. So I only buy clothes in the springtime pretty much and in the fall. And I'll only buy just a few items that I need because I don't really need that much. But sometimes something strikes me that I might want. You know, I might want a new pair of tennis shoes. You know, you never know. So I just put $5 a week in. If you work, you might have to put more because this is your budget, not mine. So you do it what works for you. Entertainment is going to get $5. I thought I had more for entertainment. What I have for entertainment is, in my head, is last year I was on such a tight budget, but I paid off my house. So I do have a little bit of extra money. So with this entertainment, I can, if I go somewhere, if I'm invited somewhere, I might be able to pick up, let's say, a 6-pack of beer if we're having a cookout, or I can go by the grocery store and get something like an hors d'oeuvre without coming out of my grocery money. Or if I want to save it up and actually go enter myself in a 5K, I can. So I'm going to try to save up entertainment. I mean, I don't have any cookouts coming up this month anyway, but I want to like build this up a little bit so when something happens, I have a little bit of cushion in entertainment and I don't have to really pull out of my personal money that I give myself every week, if that makes sense. Okay, vacation is going to get, I know I'm putting more money in vacation. It's going to get $20. And it's not quite going to cut it because I'm going to have just for my hotel room in March 14th is going to cost $530 plus tax for one night. And this will not add up to that amount of money. So I might have to end up using entertainment with the vacation and with the gifts. You just don't know. I'll see how I'm going to have to pull money from. But I mean, I can do that and just start building it back up again. That's the glory. That's the great part of this whole method. You know, it's yours. You know, I'm not going to have to pull from grocery money to pay for that hotel room. I'm going to have other non-important little categories I could pull from if I needed to. But you don't really want to pull from other categories. But if you need to, they're there because this is money that you have saved. Okay, so next I have gifts. And that gets $5 a week. And that's primarily set for birthdays, for non-immediate family or friends. I only give probably 2 or 3 gifts a year outside of my family. So I just put $5 a week and it's there. So if I want to carry a friend out to lunch, I can. If I want to go buy a little gift, I can. It's right there. Okay, wish list is a very important, that's something you're dreaming of, you know. Like let's say you want a new picture to go over your couch or a new rug in your living room. Last year on my wish list, I had, I was saving up for a computer, you know. I'm only going to put $5 in wish list, which only makes me have $10, but this is only the second week in January. Right now, I don't know what I want to use wish list for. I don't know. I have no idea, but when it hits me, I'll figure it out. Okay, lawn and garden. Last year, I did not do a single thing in my yard, but I was majorly grieving. And I do like gardening. So maybe I'll buy a few flowers. Maybe I'll go weed and plant a few veggies. I don't know. But I am going to put $5 back a week until I decide. I'm sure it would cost me way more than $5 a week to do what my husband and I used to do. But I'm just going to start out slow and steady. See where life takes me. Okay, wedding. That's for my daughter, who's getting married March 14th. It's really kind of like an elopement. But she gets $15. It's kind of like an elopement that we're just going to be privy to watching, which is awesome. And I did already give her $500 out of my savings. So I'm not quite sure if she's going to get any more, get all of this or not. This might actually help pay for my hotel room outside of what I've saved. So let's see what she's got. I started saving, I think, when she got engaged. So look, she's got 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. So we do have $185 in wedding, and I'm putting $15 a week in there. So we'll see how that, what that pans out to be come March. Okay, adventure. This is the same, kind of like it, I do put it in the same category as vacation and entertainment. But adventure to me basically is going on a day trip, like to some place that you've never gone, to maybe go thrifting, go eat at a new restaurant in a new town you've never gone to close by. Maybe it is entering a 5K. I don't know. It's kind of like what you decide. And I want to do that this year. So adventure is going to get a whole $20 bill, because when I did that 5K, it cost me over $100. So, and I didn't have anything in my budget for that kind of stuff. So this year I am going to budget for those pop-ups, because I'm all about living with joy, being happy, living with a purpose, healing, you know, because I am grieving, and we're only here on this earth for a short time, and, we've got to do the best we can with the life that we have. And so I'm going to try to make the most out of it. That's my goal anyway. Last year was hard. It was, just a whole bust, if you want to know the truth. There wasn't much joy. There wasn't, everything we just did went through the motions, I guess. And this year, we're actually going to enjoy it, if that makes sense. So $5 goes into Easter. I did not have these categories last year. I couldn't even afford them. But now that I've paid off my house, Easter, I might be able to actually save up enough money to get my grandchildren a little Easter surprise for their Easter baskets. Thanksgiving, I'm saving because I didn't save up, and we had to buy food for Thanksgiving. Didn't think about that last year. So I'm going to put $5 a week for Thanksgiving. Christmas, same difference. I'm going to be prepared for food. It won't come out of my grocery budget, So I've got $10 saved up for next year. Christmas child, we are going to adopt more children. But for some reason, when I did my monthly budget, I did not take out for my gas. And so I'm going to hold off on these 3 because I need to make sure I had enough money to put gas in my car. So I just took it from those 3. But I will be stuffing those. Don't worry. Juju hasn't forgotten about how much joy I got by giving to those children this year. Okay, next is my favorite binder. This is all of my grandchildren and my children. This is my youngest grandchild. He is 1, I don't know exactly how, he was born in October. He's 1 in, 4 months? So he gets $5 a week. So this will fund his birthday and his Christmas gift. I give each of my grandchildren and my children $100 for their birthday and Christmas. Each, they get $100, and their significant others get $50. So this is my second. She's going to get $5. I'm not going to go through all the details. I'm just going to put the $5 in. I will comment on this grandchild. his birthday's in February. So I have his birthday money, see, from last year. All I have to do is pull that, and that's his birthday gift. And I've already have $10 for Christmas and then his birthday. So it just works out really good. I saved for his birthday last year. I love this. And I'm so proud of myself for my little dashboards. It's the little things, you know, because I started out with just plain white envelopes, right? But I do have a computer now. My other computer was so old I wasn't even going to attempt to buy a printer to hook up to it. So I did get a new computer and a printer. And so I did get on Canva and make some dashboards. So easy. Printed them out on my printer on cardstock. So that's just made me happy, gave me something to do. Next, I want to learn how to edit videos. I'm going to try to teach myself how to do that. So this daughter, she has a birthday actually on the same date as her son. He was born on her birthday. So I have her money saved up for her birthday gift right here, all from last year. And so that's all of my binders that I stuff. But we have one more thing to do. Remember, this is my bank. I couldn't even close it. And it's going down. It'll be completely empty by the end of the month. So let's put this there. Slide this over. And this is going to be fun. I probably, just hold on. I'm going to go real quick. I need to grab a Sharpie real quick, okay? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Stay with me. I love having my craft. I'm upstairs in my craft room, guys. And so I had to run to my office area and grab a Sharpie to do this. Okay, this is where we take the cash that we did not spend, okay? So, this is my challenge book. I bought these little challenges, gosh, last year whenever I first started. I got them off of Amazon. And you can wipe them off with rubbing alcohol when you use them. But for every $1 bill that I save on this challenge will mean $60. Let's see how many dollars we did not spend this week out of our cash wallet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we can mark off 10. I don't think I'm just going to I'm not into the coloring. I'll check them off. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yay! Sometimes I only have 2 $1 bills, so that was good. And I got my hair cut, you know? But here we go. I usually take my change out of my wallet too, so I will do that too. So now I'm going to also do 5s. So I have one $5 bill. So if I fill up this whole entire sheet, I would have saved $300. And then when you save it up, it's up to you on where you're going to put it. I always try to put mine on a sinking fund that needs help. Or it could go partially. If I save up $300, I might put it on my vacation to help pay for that hotel room. I don't know. I'll decide whenever I get there. But right now, I've got $5 saved. And let's see, this is 10s and 5s. And we're not going to do this one. I wonder if there's one with just $10 bills. Oh yeah, we might start doing this one too with 10s. So anyway, all of my money's been accounted for. It's going to different categories. Of course, if the you-know-what hits the fan, it all is just the savings account. Okay, guys? Every piece of money that's in those binders is saved. You are saving that money, but you're saving it for your future. It's just a good way to do things. I'm a firm believer. I only wish that my husband and I started this in our 20s, and I did not start whenever I was 56 years old. You know, I'm trying to tell my children to start this now. You don't have to use the cash envelopes. You might be smart enough to put it in buckets in your savings account. Me, I'm not. Once this money accumulates a little bit, and you'll see that, we will start unstuffing, and I'll put placeholders. I'm not going to keep all of that cash here at my house. I am a firm believer to have a little bit of cash on hand at your house, but I would never want as much money that we're going to end up saving for all of these things. You know, like your next year's bills. Like my house insurance is probably going to cost like $2,000 some odd dollars. My car insurance, I mean, it's going to be like probably close to $3,000. I'm not going to just have that sitting here in an envelope. I'm going to put it in my high yield savings account and let it earn money. So with that being said, I'm going to, in my description, I'm going to put, I will put the Fetch rewards. Check that out. High yield, I use Ally, A-L-L-Y. And it's a bank. It's not a scam. It's, you know, a very good bank. And they give a lot. I'm sure there's more banks that do high yield savings accounts, but I'm very satisfied with this one. It took like 2 days for my money to get put into their bank. Once you set everything up, and it doesn't even take long, you can just transfer money from your bank account to theirs. And then when you need it, you can transfer back from theirs to yours. There's even options where you can get, you know, a checkbook. So you don't even have to transfer. You could just write out a check. I don't want to do that, so I didn't do that. But I'm going to put that link there too. And I think if you sign up under me with that link, I think they'll give you a certain amount of money, and they'll give me a certain amount of money. Not like a whole bunch, but a little bit. Every little bit counts. So if that's something you're interested in, consider using that link. And then the next thing I'll put in there is just my eBay store. I don't particularly, I'm not trying to say go purchase something, because I haven't even listed anything recently. But I do put that in there just so you'll know that there are, like you might be interested in earning extra income by selling on eBay. And you can look and say, oh my God, look what she's selling. I can do that too. So it's really more as a motivator. But anyway, y'all have a great, blessed day. And thank you so much. Like I said, today is Sunday. I stuff on Sundays. Today is January 11th, 2026. And God bless you, and thank you for watching. Leave me a comment and subscribe. Bye.